How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto and Gino coming at you from the Wild Wild West. And today, we're just having a little discussion about my 5MAX. My 5MAX. And the reason why all these other ones are out here, because these are all the Demko knives that, to me, are very closely related to one another. They're just different sizes. And one has a different lock on it, but they're all basically pretty close to each other. All right, Gina. That's my sweetie. That's my sweetie. That's my sweetie girl. First of all, let's go over the specs. And the way that we're going to do the specs is that we're going to just measure everything all out. Okay, let's start off with the 5MAX. I'm not going to really worry about the specs on all these people, because I've done lots of videos on all these knives. If you want to see the specs for these, you can just look up any of the videos for these knives. But this one, it's only been in one video, and it's a video that a lot of you guys might have missed. But it was in the Christmas video, the fireside video. You got to do some wood crafting. First day I had it. But anyway, this is an awesome knife, people. This is, let me say it again, this is an awesome knife. Now, if you're talking about, like a bug out, one of the best knives probably for a bug out bag or for heavy duty cutting chores. It could even, I would say even, like camp duty type chores. I wouldn't use this, like we did in the video, because I batoned with it and stuff like that. I wouldn't use this like that, even though it handled it perfectly fine without any damage at all. And the finish didn't even get messed up. And but anyway, and it still cuts like a razor. It still cuts like a razor. And I demonstrate all that in that video. But anyway, this knife is beautiful, people. I love these G10 scales. I like the way that the handle feels too. It feels slimmer, like more like a like what you're used to when you grip like a Voyager or a Espada or a Talwar or something, or one of those big mega folders from Cold Steel. The thickness of the handle feels like it's all about the same. So it feels very familiar. The backspacer feels like it's aluminum. Let me see what we got here. Break out the magnet. Yeah, backspacer's aluminum. These liners feel like they might be aluminum too, people. I don't feel the magnet's not sticking to them. I thought they were stainless steel at first. In the other video, I think I said that they were stainless steel. These liners are not steel. See that, people? Just for example, see, that's steel. That's steel. Let's see it. And these liners are steel. See how that sticks to it? These liners are steel for the 4MAX Scout. These liners, it doesn't stick to it at all, people. So I wonder, they could be titanium. I don't know if they're titanium or heat-treated aluminum. So if anybody knows, let me know. I don't know what these liners are made out of. They're not steel liners. I thought they were steel liners at first, people. I even told people in the last video that they were steel. But they're not steel liners. So this knife is just really super heavy because of the grivery and because of the 4.8 millimeter blade thickness and the thickness of the lock bar and the length of the lock bar. But this might be either titanium or aluminum. It could be either or. Because it's definitely a metal. Because it feels cold to the touch of my lip. And that's the way I can usually tell. Grivery doesn't feel like that. This is grivery. Oh, wait a minute, I take it back. Is that one met? That one might be aluminum too. Wait a minute, let me find one that I know is grivery. Okay, this has grivery. Yeah, see, that feels warm. Doesn't feel cold. This is grivery too, I think. Yep, feels warm. This is aluminum. I think this is a heat treated aluminum. I thought it was Gribery, but it feels like aluminum. And that's definitely aluminum, or they usually use aluminum for these back spacers. They usually use like a 6061 heat treated aluminum. They use them in like, this is aluminum, the heat treated aluminum. This one's heat treated aluminum. This lock bar is made out of heat treated aluminum. This one has heat treated aluminum. So this one might be either heat treated aluminum, people, or titanium. As much as these cost, though, it wouldn't surprise me if they use titanium liners and a titanium backspacer. Now I'm really curious. I'm really curious because I don't know what the material it is that's made out of. Let's measure out the stop pin. Because I heard somebody say that the stop pin is smaller than the 4MAX. Let's find out if it is. They didn't actually measure it. They were just looking at it. It might be, though. I don't know. That might be an optical illusion too, because it's finished. Lots of times finished things look smaller when they're really not. Okay, it's 6 millimeters, 5.98, 5.99. Let me show you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and zero it out. Zeroed. Open it up and close it. Just about 6 millimeters. 5.98, 5.99. That's what I got reading. Okay, let's see what this one is. This is the 4MAX. Zero it. Open it. 6.0, so 5.99. So they're the same size. The stop pins are the same size, people. Now they're probably different for the original 4MAXs. The original 4MAXs, the ones that were made in the United States and Italy, they're different from these. These are the Taiwan 4MAXs, but that's one that the person was looking at. He was looking at a Taiwan 4MAX and comparing it to the 5MAX, and he said the stop pins in the 4MAX were bigger, but they're not. They're the exact same size. Even the pinholes look the same size for the pins. This is stop pin right here, and these are stop pin pinholes. They look like the same size. So I think the stop pin is the exact same size. I bet you can even swap them back and forth. That's how they save money, people. That's how they save money in the production costs. It's like, they don't have to make anything new. They use the parts from another model. See, like look at the pivot. The pivot from this side looks the same. Same size. That's what I'm talking about. Same diameter. Even though from this side, the pivot screws are different. But I think the pivots are the same. They just use a different pivot screw. This pivot screw looks more like one of these pivot screws like they use in this knife. See what I'm saying, people? That's how they save costs. So a lot of the parts on cold steels are swappable. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've learned that over the years because I've swapped a lot of parts around from one model to another model just to make a custom knife, and it works all the time. Not every knife is, you could trade every part with every knife, but a lot of the parts with the different knives are swappable. All right, so where are we at? So we measured the stop pin. Let's measure blade thickness, see if it is really 4.8 millimeters thick. Zero it out again. Okay. Measuring right behind the thumb stud. 4.76. Yeah, that's 4.8. I call that 4.8. It's close enough. 4.8. The tiny truth about the thickness of the blade. Okay, let me see how thick the handle is. Right there where the lock is, the mid lock, that's where I'm measuring the thickness of the handle. 16.8 millimeters, 16.8 millimeters. Let's compare that to a Taiwanese 4MAX. 16.09. So they're almost the same thickness. The 5MAX is a little bit thicker than the 4MAX. 5MAX is thicker than the 4MAX. I've heard people say it's thinner. It's actually thicker. Only almost a millimeter thicker. All right. That's why I always like to measure things with actually, actual measuring tools and stuff like that, so you know what the truth is. Okay, the length. This one's easy to handle in hand too, and it's very well balanced. 50-50 at the finger groove, people. 50-50 at the finger groove. And it says Demko on it. It says Demko 5MAX. So that tells me right there that Andrew Demko had something to do with this knife. He probably, worked with GSM to give him this knife. I'm sure he's getting paid for it too. So buy it. I like Andrew and John Demko, people. So if money from this is going to them, I'm down for that. And I bet you this might, it could be titanium liners, people. I don't know. It could be titanium liners with a titanium backspacer. Might be one reason why it costs so much. CPM S35VN, stainless steel, crucible steel from the United States. It's a beautiful knife, people. I think it's beautiful. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. If it wasn't so heavy, I'd carry it. But this is a heavy knife. Let me show you how much it weighs real quick. It's a heavy one. $13.6 ounces, people. 13.6 ounces. 13.6 ounces. That's like, like a big Bowie fixed blade. That's, that's in the realm of a big fixed blade, that weight. Okay, let's see how long it is. Measure it this way now. $12 3/16. Yeah, just a little bit over 12 and 8. I know, a little bit over 12 and a quarter. Almost 12 and a quarter, but less. So it's fairly long. Blade, here's the tip right here. It's a little bit over. That's a true 5-inch blade. That's like 5 inches right on the dot. 5 inches right on the dot for the blade. Cutting edge. You got about 5 1/4 inches of cutting edge. I can't curve it around, but from here, from this part, from the cutting part to where I was able to measure it with a straight measurement. Let me see. I'm now showing a little bit over 5 inches. Like 5 1/16. Now if I bend this, let me see if I can bend it. I'm going to see if I get exactly what the cutting edge is. Five 1/4 inches. 5 1/4 inches of cutting edge. Handle length. 7 1/4 inches. This is an awesome knife, people. This is an awesome knife. This finish is like a, it must be like a DLC finish because I was put on through wood with it and the finish didn't get damaged at all. Matter of fact, I should put a little bit of oil on it. I haven't oiled it yet. I haven't pulled this knife apart or pulled any kind of maintenance on it or anything yet. Still pretty much a virgin, except for, on the last video, it got to do a lot of wood crafting. And it did an excellent job of the wood crafting, people. And this knife feels super smooth and operates super easily. For any of you that are used to triads, you know what I'm talking about. I'm comparing, when I say it's super smooth and operates super easy, I'm comparing it to other triads that I've owned throughout the years. This one's very smooth. Feels like it's very well made. I have to do a video where I take this one apart and do my tune and lube on it. But see, these, after you baton them, when they got the DLC finish, because the DLC finish, it like really bonds to the steel. I think DLC, if you ask me, is the best finish that you can get on a blade. I understand it's not the most rust resistant though, but it as far as like a finish that for a stainless steel where you don't really have to worry about the rust resistance, I think it's excellent. I think that's the best finish you can get, is a DLC finish. As far as wear is concerned, it is super hard to wear off a DLC finish. I think it's harder to wear off a DLC finish than any other kind of finish. So this blade looks brand new still, huh? And it's done a lot of wood crafting already. That's what I was telling you, when you got that stonewash finish, that's one reason I like the stonewash finish, is because after you use the stonewash finish, all you gotta do is put a little bit of oil on it, and it takes away all the little scuff marks and everything like that. The stonewash finish is like a real durable finish. Tumbling the blade in rocks or some kind of media or whatever. I don't know if it makes it the outer layer of the steel a little bit harder or something. I don't know. I don't know what it does, but it seems like it makes it not show scratches very easy, that's for sure. Absolutely love this one, people. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask me, which one do I like better? The Mayhem or the 5MAX? I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm not getting paid by anybody. Nobody endorses me. Nobody sends me free knives or anything like that. This is all done by me. It's just all my opinions and my personal thoughts and things that I have about the things I've owned and I own. I think these are aluminum or titanium or something, because just from the color of the metal. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. But and the way I feel about the Mayhem, I think of it more as a collector. I'm being honest. That knife is giant. I mean, it's a giant knife. Just to me, it's like, it's like the Espada XL. It's like a real big giant knife. Or like the Raja. The Raja 2 is a big giant knife to me too. And this is a big giant knife, but for some reason it doesn't feel so giant. It feels more normal. Is that a good way to put it? It feels more normal. It feels like one of these, just a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what it is. It's basically just one of these, just made it a little bit longer and bigger. And this feels real normal to me because I've been using these for a long time now. And this one feels, and I love the handle. I love the way that they did this handle. That rear grip on that handle is awesome. It reminds me of like the Voyager handle. I love the Voyager handle, but this one's better because it's done in G10. And I bet you this might be titanium. It's either like 70-75 aluminum, like really good aluminum, or 60-61 aluminum, which is also really good, but not as good as 70-75. 70-75 is like it's good as titanium, if you ask me. And I bet you the liners are probably like a 70-75 or 60-61 or titanium. It's one of those three, and all three of them are awesome. All three of those types of metals are awesome. I really want to know how it's made now. I'm really curious. Because this one, These have originally, they have aluminum liners. This is a modified 8010 with the original goat kit. But they're originally these are originally have aluminum liners also. But for this, they charge a lot for this knife. They charge more for it than they do for the Mayhem. So I bet you this might be titanium, people. Wow, I really like this one. I really like it. I think it's worth, I hate to say that, but I think it's pretty much worth what they're asking for it. I got a really good deal on this one from Cold Steel. They sent me a special deal, and that's the reason why I bought it. And they also gave me and I understand they're giving everybody Voyagers now, but they also gave me a Voyager and a sharpener for free. And right now, if you buy one of these at Cold Steel, I think they're giving you free Voyagers also. I don't know if they're giving you that discounted price I got. But it's awesome knife, people. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. I love it. It's everything I would want. I like the color of it. You know me, I like OD green. I love the color of it. I like the black stonewash. And now that these, I know that these liners might be like aluminum or titanium or something, and with the backspacer might be aluminum titanium with the G10 handle skills, that makes me feel like it's worth, $300. Because that's what $300 knives have. And they're not even this big. They're not even giving you this much CPMS 35VN, powdered stainless steel. It says Demko on it. So nobody can deny that this is a Demko knife. It says Demko on it, just like his custom knives that come from Demko Knives. You know what? I want another one. I will get another one. I thought I was only going to get one, but now that I've really looked at it and I see how it's made, I want another one, people. I want another one. I'll wait until they come out with a different color handle, though, because I don't need to have two the same color. But, like if they come out with like a black handle or orange handle, I'd get an orange handled one. I love orange handles for outdoor knives. Why? Because if you drop an orange handled knife in the outdoors, or even a blue handled knife or a yellow handled knife, or, well, yeah, it has to be like one of those three colors that aren't normal, but for outdoors things. But if you drop one of those out when you're outside, chopping up wood or out in the wilderness somewhere, it's easy to find. If you drop something like this, it might be lost. If you're dropping it in where there's a lot of leaves or fall leaves or any kind of brush or overgrown grass or anything, this might be lost. But this you might still see. That one you might still see. This is another one of the Demko knives that I think these knives are all an evolution of one another. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I got these knives out here like this. Now think of this one as having one of these blades. Because the original 8010s, when Andrew Demko was still with Cold Steel, they had a blade, shaped like this. And I do have those, but I have a couple of them, but they're all in the safe and they're locked up. So these are the ones that are out that I carry all the time. And this is a worker now too. This is not a safe queen. This goes in my bug out bag now. This is my bug out bag knife. This used to be my bug out bag knife, my bug out bag folder. Because I keep a folder in my bug out bag and a fixed blade. And I like this one because this one can do everybody's job. This one can be a fixed blade or a folder if it need be. And so can this one, but it's just a smaller knife. And you all know I like the bigger blades. To me, a bigger blade could do more than a smaller blade. And this one with the handle, it's great for chopping. If you had to use it as a chopper or something like that. I know it feather sticks like a champ. I mean, it feather sticks really well. It'd be toned through wood really well. It's carved. It's great for carving. But I didn't do any chopping with it. But this grip feels like it's made to be a chopper. I absolutely love it. It feels like it, could do all the same things like the Raja 2 can do. That's nicer than the Raja 2. The materials that it's made out of is nicer. The appearance of it's nicer. Everything's nicer. The grip and the feel of it. This is an awesome knife. I think it might be one of my new favorite mega folders from Cold Steel. Not to carry though. If I was going to carry this one, I'd only carry like if I'm going out in a camp situation or something like that. It's not a motorcycle knife. Motorcycle knives, I like them to be this big but lightweight. You know, like a Talwar XL or a Spada, a large Spada, Talwar XL, large Spada, a Voyager, a Tonto Voyager XL, a Counterpoint XL, a Holdout 1 XL. Those are all like the types of knives I like to carry when I'm on a motorcycle because they're lightweight. You know, they all weigh under 9 ounces, and most of them under 8 ounces. Because my Talwar that I've modified, the original one I have, only weighs 8 ounces. The new ones are like 8.7 ounces. They're heavier. And I still carry the old Oz 8 one. It's still my favorite. Why? Because it's super fast. It's super fast because the liners, I mean, I polished the inside of the G10 handle scales. I polished the washers. I polished the blade and the lock bar. So everything's super polished. So I could tighten it up where there's no blade play movement, up or down, side to side, and it flies open like it's on bearings. That's what I like. I like fast knives, people. I was trying to get Original Goat to make an 8010 with the skiff bearing kit, but they wouldn't do it. You know why? Because they said they tried it and the blade dropped too fast. And they were worried about people getting injured. I wish they would just make one for me then. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm used, you know, fast opening and closing knives are my favorites. Are my favorite knives. I love fast opening knives and closing knives. Absolutely love them. This is another one. This is Scorpion Lock 8015. And to me, it's like one of the evolution of one of these. Now, then again, you know, picture this with the, what do you call that? Like a drop point blade or a spear point blade. Picture this one with not the Tonto blade on it, but having the original blade for the 8010. Then you got the 8015, and it's sort of got like the same shape of blade. And you got these, the Ultimate Hunter, same shape of blade. And then you got one of the OGs that came out with this shape. I think it was originally made from, the idea from it came from the 4MAX. Because Andrew's, my understanding that he's always made the 4MAXs and 5MAXs. Those are his custom line of knives. You know, even before, I think he was making them like right after he learned how to make the triad lock. I think they might have been some of his first knives that he was making with the triad lock. And I think, if I can remember the story right, Lindsey Thompson wanted him to make, you know, when he got with Cold Steel, he wanted to make, he loved the 4MAX, but he wanted to be lightweight and make it an EDC knife. And that's where the American Lawman came from. This is an awesome knife. I carried these for years. I have a lot of American Lawman. This one is, this is my favorite one. This is CTS-6HP one. This is the one I carried the most. This one and the Mini Lawman and CTS-6HP. I like to carry them together. When I'm going to places that I don't feel like I'm threatened or have to be really worried about self-defense and too much or whatever, you know, like I'm wearing, you know, like nicer clothes and stuff, I'll carry this and the Mini Lawman. This is like my gentleman's folder. Is that a good way to put it? Even though I don't even own a suit, people. So I don't know if I'm a gentleman or not, but I feel like being a gentleman, that's what I'll carry. And this one right here. I think they had like about 3 different versions of these. The first version had steel liners, if I remember right, of the American Lawman, that is. The first version had metal liners in it. I'm not sure if they were steel or aluminum. I never owned one of those. And then when I came on board and started getting into these, they were making these. The ones without any metal liners, because they were trying to make all their knives without metal liners and just thick grivery scales. They used to advertise as being American G10 scales. And they were all blacked out. This one had the Tough X finish, and I never liked Tough X finish. So just about all the knives I ever carried that had the Tough X finish on them, I removed the Tough X finish. So that's why I have a lot of polished knives. I've been carrying these ever since the beginning of Cold Steel with the Triad Lock and Andrew Demko. So that's where my collection really kind of starts for Cold Steel knives. And I have a lot of them because I loved them. Absolutely loved them. And before I was a Cold Steel person, I was a Benchmade person. I went from Benchmades to Cold Steels. And I still have a lot of Benchmades, but I just don't really carry them. The knives that I really carry are my, the knives that you see in my rotation drawer. Those are knives I carry. And like the one that's in my pocket right now is my Atlas lock. My 3.5-inch blade engaged. This is my favorite right now. That's my, y'all know me, I go through favorites. But right now, this is my favorite. I love this knife. The only thing I would do to improve it is have original make me an aluminum backspacer. If anybody else wants to make aluminum backspacer, makes custom for these, I'll jump on that too. I'll give it a try. I just want to have aluminum all the way through here. I want it to be all the way polished. Absolutely love these though. These are some of my new favorites from Cold Steel. The Atlas Lock and Gauge. And this one's a user. Unlike the Atlas Lock Mayhems I have, I'm just going to collect that one. I still want to get the Japanese AUS not AA, I said the AA the other day. The Japanese AUS 10A, annealed 10A stainless steel blade from Seiki, Japan. That's right. The steel still comes from Seiki, Japan, people. It just goes to Taiwan, just like steel comes from the United States and goes to Taiwan. So like all these knives that you get with Japanese AUS 10A, that's Japanese steel. That's Japanese steel. It's not made in Taiwan. It's imported to Taiwan from Seiki, Japan. Same thing with the Sanmai. The Sanmai steels come from Seiki, Japan. So, they're using really good steel in these knives, people. They're not using junk steel. They're using like steel from the real makers. And it's like, like when Andrew Demko uses D2, he tells you where it comes from. It comes from Austria. It's K110. He tells you all about it. It's cool. I absolutely love these knives, people. Absolutely love it. I'm gonna set that one aside because it's not about the GSM knife. These are all Demko designs right here. This one's not a Demko design. It looks like a lot like a Demko design, but it's not. These are all Demko knives right here. And these to me are some of the best knives that Andrew made at Cold Steel that, for everyday carry, everyday use. And there's others, like the Recon series, and I'm not going to discount those. But these are some of the designs that are very close to what he was doing at his custom shop. Because Demko, Andrew Demko, I don't know if you ever noticed, but a lot of his knives have this basic blade shape. They all got the same blade. This one would have it too if I had the original blade on it. And I don't know if you noticed that. That's what I'm trying to show you. Is that you could always tell the Demko knives, they always got awesome handles and pretty much the same blade shape. Because he likes this blade. He likes drop points, I think. I think that might be his favorite. I know he doesn't like I've heard him say that he doesn't care for Tonto blades. I like Tonto blades, but Andrew Demko doesn't like Tonto blades. But I like them. He likes the drop points, and he likes the Bowie style blades, the clip blades. But I think the drop points is his favorite. But anyway, people, give you a look at these. I think this is a second. I'm not sure for exactly sure. I can't remember if I'm remembering that right. I think this is like a second generation of the American Lawman. I think this is like the third generation, like what they're making now. Well, actually, there could be a fourth because now they don't have hollow ground blades anymore like this one. They have flat ground blades. So I guess there'd be 4 generations of the American Lawman. Ultimate Hunter. This is an excellent knife for the price, people. For the price, you get a lot. I always thought this was a Grivery backspacer, but I think it's aluminum now. So it's got aluminum backspacer. And I have a couple of these. I have a black one too. That's as a CTS 6HP, one of the original ones. This one is this is a new one, the S35VN from GSM. This is the one that's in my rotation drawer. This one's in my rotation drawer too. That's why it's out here. It's easy for me to get to. I've carried this one to work. Absolutely love it. And I didn't polish the scales on this one on purpose. I left it unpolished for you guys so you can see what an unpolished one looks like. And it has the modified backspacer now, because you have to modify the backspacer because it has like little alignment prongs that stick out the what do you call it, the Grivery backspacer, and you have to smooth them down until they're flush with the rest of the backspacer, and then reassemble it. And that's what I had to do to make this fit. Now, if you get the S35VN model, this is the light model. The light model comes with a Grivery backspacer. The CPM S35VN model comes with a heat-treated 6061 aluminum backspacer. And so if you want to, you can, with that one, you can polish it and then polish your handles and have everything all nicely polished. That would look nice. Or you can just leave it black because the finish on it's black. And this one's fast too. And this one's not on, this one doesn't have the, this kit does not have the skiff bearings. You're still using the washers that your knife came with. But these 8010s are really smooth anyway. And to me, these are some of my favorite 8010s. This one right here weighs 6.7 ounces, if I remember right, 6.7. .7 ounces. And the S35VN model of this one weighs 7.3 ounces. And the GrivX model of this one, like this one originally was when I first weighed it, it weighed 6.6. So now it weighs 6.7. But it has solid aluminum handles. No liners. Originally, this has aluminum liners with a Grivery handle scale. I got this knife originally brand new. I paid $49 for it. And this one, I think I paid like $50 for it. And this one was like $112. So with this kit, the kit was $90. So it would make this one $202 to build it like this from what I paid for it. This one, the kit was, I can't remember if it was like $60 or $75. I want to say it was like $60. I think it was cheaper. I think I got a discount on it because I bought something else. But I think I only paid like $60 for this kit. And it's normally like a $80 kit or $75 or $80 kit. I had a $20 discount. That's what it was. I had a $20 discount. And so that would make this one be like a $90 knife or a $100 knife that I have totally invested in this. Because it was a midway sale that I bought this knife. And I think it was like $50, 50 something bucks, like maybe $55 or something like that. And the kit was So it'd be like $115, $115 to make this knife. That's how much it cost me. And plus the elbow grease I put into polishing it. And this one I paid $49 for. And the kit was it $75? I want to say $75. I can't remember exactly, people. You go to OG Goat and you can look up these kits. But this aluminum kit in buff without any jimping. Oh no, this was a little bit more because I had to pay extra $10 to get the no jimping on it. And this one I bought before this one, and that's how I got the discount on this one. And then I got a discount on this one. And then I got a discount on the next one, because each time you buy one, they always give you a $20 coupon, a $20 code that you can use to get a $20 discount. And then on the other one, the titanium one, I got a percentage off. I think it was like 20 or 30% off of it. And that made that one affordable. That's the one that we're waiting on, is the titanium one to come in for the Engage. And I know I'm going to love that, because that's going to be the Tonto Engage. I wish they would make some backspacers for these. That's my only gripe about this one, is I want aluminum backspacers. I don't want to use the Grivery backspacer. I want to use an aluminum backspacer. I don't want to use a G10 backspacer either. I want aluminum. I want something that matches the metal, and I can make it all match, and the finish and everything, make it look like it's supposed to look in my mind. And this one right here, this one just feels good in hand. These feel really good in hand to me. This one I have carried. I have carried this one. And it's heavy, but it's not so heavy that I can't carry it. This one is in the realm where I wouldn't carry it because it pulled down my pants. I have the curse of the flat behind, people. And so, like my stomach is bigger than my waistline, so, and I don't like suspenders. Everybody tells you wear suspenders. I don't want to wear suspenders. So I just carry lighter weight knives. I just don't carry like super heavy duty knives. When knives get around 7 to 8 ounces, that's sort of like my limit. But there are knives that weigh like 9 ounces. I will still like I love the Espadas. I carry the Espada all the time. My Japanese AUS 10A and Espada. I paid like $122 for it. I carry that all the time. That's like one of my favorite knives to carry in the bike. That and the Tau War. Those are my two favorite. And well, I have 3. The Tau War, the Voyager, and the Espada. I carry them in different places though. I'll carry the Voyager if I feel like somebody might confiscate it, because that's the one that's easiest to replace and it's cheap. But it's just as tough as all the others, and it's got an awesome grip. And the Espada I'll carry like when I go with the Espada or my Tau War. That's the knife I carry if I'm hanging out with my buddies and stuff. Because it's cooler. You know what I mean? It's a little bit flashier, a little bit cooler, and everything else like that. And especially my Tau War, because I can open that all kinds of different ways, open and close it, and manipulate it and toss it all around and all that kind of stuff. And it's just because I've had that for so long, and it's like that one feels the most natural in my hand, to tell you the truth, is the XL Tau War. If I was to pick one for a fighting knife, I'd pick the Tau War. That'd be the one I'd pick. And I like the Voyagers too. And I like the Espadas. And now I like this. Because one reason why I really like this is because I like the handle. I can tell by this handle. I like knives that give me reach. How much more reach does this give me if I was to use this as a self-defense tool? Okay, right here. We'll start up here. Here, the first grip gives you 5 inches of reach. Second grip, 6 1/4 inches of reach. You don't really have a mid grip, but you do have a rear grip. 8 inches of reach. 8 inches of reach, people. And this feels like it'd chop off somebody's wrist. I mean, it's got enough weight behind it where it feels like it can do some serious damage, sort of like a small hatchet or something. It feels like it could do some serious damage if you were using it on, you know, just hit somebody's wrist with it, because it's going to go all the way through the bone. This is a bad sucker right here. That's a tough knife. And it's easy to manipulate, huh, Gino? But you said it's time for the video to end? I've been rambling on too long? Because Grandpa rambles too much? Grandpa rambles too much? Yes, my girl. Yes, my girl. I highly recommend this one, people. Highly recommend this one. If I'm in the zombie apocalypse, this is the one I want. I want this one. If I'm talking about in between the Mayhem and the 5MAX. I'm gonna take a 5MAX, people. I love the Atlas lock, but I just trust the Triad lock more than I trust the Atlas lock. I'm sorry, but I do. I know Cold Steel probably wants people to push the Atlas lock and everything else like that, but I haven't. I just trust the Triad. And sometimes I think for these big giant mega folders, maybe it's better that they don't swing too freely, because if they swing freely like this, imagine what this could do to your fingers if this was swinging back and forth and your finger just happened to be in this, slide in there a little bit. Bam! It's going to chop off the tip of your finger. So maybe it's better that you don't make these with bearings. Maybe it's better for these to stay with phosphorus bronze washers with, and Teflon washers. Maybe that's the best way to make these. Because they're fast enough anyway with them, because the weight of the blade is so heavy that it's going to drop anyway. And I don't think I need it to swing any faster than that. What do y'all think? I think these are probably best with Teflon washers. The way the Cold Steel use it, Teflon washers against the blade tang, and then on top of that, you put on the phosphorus bronze washer, and that goes against the handle scale or the liner, depending on what it is, whether it's G10 or it's got some kind of metal liner. The phosphorus bronze washer goes against that. And the Teflon washer goes against the blade. That's the way Andrew Demko says it works best. He says that's how you make them really smooth too. It's better than just having a phosphorus bronze washer. That's why Andrew Demko always used Teflon. He's using it for a reason. It's not because he's trying to be cheap. It's because he thinks that's the way it works the best. It functions the best like that. And I can't argue with him, because I've been using these things for years, people. I've been carrying these, ever since they first came out. 2010 or 8 or something like that. And then they came out with all the different models, like in 13 and 14, 15 and 16. I've been carrying all these things ever since they've been made. And I'm telling you, I carry them. These are where I EDC all the time. And so I feel like I'm a pretty good authority on the Triad lock. And the Triad lock to me is just awesome. It is awesome. I don't think there's any other lock for a folding knife that's better than a Triad lock, ounce for ounce. Now you can make one of these things weigh, 2 tons, and sure, it'll be strong as maybe this one. But it weighs 2 tons. You can't carry it. You can make a real lightweight knife with a Triad lock, and it's super strong. This knife is super strong. Probably hold over 300 or 400 pounds without any damage to it. You can do spine wax. You can do all sorts of stuff. It's a lock that's, to me, a Triad lock is like it's about as close as you can get to having a real fixed blade. To me, a Triad lock knife is like a folding fixed blade. I batoned with this one the other day. When I first got it, when I first unwrapped it, before I even looked at it, I just started batoning with it, on video for you guys, because I got total faith in a Triad lock. I baton with Recon 1s and Voyagers and Espadas and just about all of them. You know what I mean? And I've never had a problem with any of them. And so I knew this was going to be okay. because this is supposed to be the heavy duty king, right? Of the triad lock folders. So I knew I didn't have any worries at all about this one. But to tell you the truth, though, I wonder if this might be stronger, because this one's got steel liners. To tell you the truth, the Scout. I'm talking about the budget one, the Scout. Because titanium is not as strong as steel, people. And they're about the same thickness. Let me show you. I'm talking about the thickness of the liners. They're about the same. So that means that these liners would be stronger than these liners. If these are aluminum or titanium, the thickness of this steel is, if it's the same as this one, like about 1 millimeter or so, it's going to be stronger. A lot stronger, not just a little bit stronger. The tensile strength of steel is heat treated, especially heat treated steel, like what this is. So I'm sure they're using like a 400 series stainless steel for their liners. That's pretty common. What knife makers use is like a 400 series stainless steel. Sometimes they go down to maybe a 300 series stainless steel, but most of them use like a 400 series of stainless steel, and they heat treat it. So this one right here, the Scout, is probably the stronger than the fancy, in my opinion, 4MAX. I bet you this would be stronger than the 4MAX. The only thing that really puts a little question mark in my mind if that might be true or not, though, is because the 4MAX is using real G10, and G10 has like a tensile strength that's pretty close to aluminum. That's the reason why you can make knives without any liners in them with American G10, because of the tensile strength of it. I've heard that from Andrew Demko. And so, you can get away with not putting steel liners in a G10 knife. But me, myself, I must admit, I prefer having liners. Seems like knives with liners, they function a little bit smoother. They operate a little bit faster, especially with the triad lock when you're not using a ball bearing. Like this one's all aluminum, right? And this one's G10. Now, see, I can put a lot of wrist in it and make it function any way I want to. But if I just open it like a normal person would, this feels a lot smoother. This one feels silky smooth. This one I can feel I can feel the blade up against the liner. Does that go? It's not a gritty feeling. I can feel the pressure that's on the blade. Maybe that's what I could feel. Because I don't think that G10, when you polish the inside of G10, it gets super shiny and stuff like that, like has a polish, like a mirror polish finish. That's when it's slick. And then you put a knife like this back together, and the knife will function really fast. But until you do that, it doesn't really function like that. And eventually, if I use this knife a lot and I fidget with it a lot, which I don't, it would break in and it would get more like one of these. See how that one drops? And I keep all my blades tight. My blades aren't loose. And this one doesn't get used a lot. So the oil in it, the lubrication is probably old. But these are some of my smoothest knives, these old ones. Absolutely love them. This one's had a lot of pocket time. And so has this. These are the knives I usually used to carry before the 80-20.5s, and I got into fidgeting knives and stuff like that. These are the knives I used to carry. This is American Lawman. This is called a large American Lawman. It used to be one of my most favorite knives to carry every day to work and stuff. All right, people. I think we've gone through all these knives now. All I got to say is, go get you one. These are badass. These are really badass. This is a workhorse. It's not a show horse. It's a workhorse. I think of the Mayhem as being more of a show horse. It's more for fun. It's more to be a collector. It's more to, I don't know. It's just, I don't think of it as like a real like self-defense tool, because number one, it's kind of heavy. and it's kind of awkward. And you know, if you're gonna pick one for self-defense, you need to pick something like a Talwar or a Spada or a Voyager or a Counterpoint or something like that, or a Holdout. You need to pick something more like that. You want something that's light and fast and balanced perfectly, and you can maneuver in your hand super fast. You don't want a big heavy knife. I wouldn't pick this for a fighter. This is not my choice for a fighter. But in a bug out bag, I need a knife that can do everything. I need a knife that can do wood crafting, start fires, set up camp, and be a self-defense tool too if I need it to be. This knife can do all those things. It may not be the best at everything. It may not be the best fighter, but it could be a fighter if it need be. You know, it's a super strong knife. It's like a big fixed blade. You know, so this to me is an excellent knife for a bug out bag. You could do food prep with it. I would even like to have one without the finish on it. Because like for food prep, I tend to like to use plain blades like this. But I just like this one. The coloring and the aesthetics of it is just beautiful. It's a beautiful knife. I think it'd be cool if they made these with orange handles. I love orange for outdoors knives. Orange handles and maybe some like and maybe like a black, all blacked out one. You know, try different colors and different finishes on the blade and everything. You know, they could do a lot with this. This is a nice knife. This is really a very well built, very sturdy, very strong, very dependable, very reliable. This is the kind of knife that that you want if you need to survive somewhere. It's an excellent knife. All right, people. Excellent knife. Excellent knife, people. Excellent knife. Awesome. I like the fitment and just the way it looks, too. It's just a really good looking knife. All right, people. Well, we're going to sign off. I put this one out there for y'all tonight. Today is the 21st, Thursday, December 21st. Peace. Stiletto.